Oh, hey, what's going on? How y'all doing tonight? Got a nice little cold snap here in New York. It's starting to thaw a little bit. This was the mildest winter we've had yet. Man, oh man. You know, starting to we had two good snows and that was about it. And usually after a snow or two, I'm ready for spring. Although this was literally the mildest winter I've ever experienced in New York, which is very upsetting for many reasons. But we're not here to discuss that tonight. We're talking about Sublime. We've been talking about Sublime a lot lately. A lot has been happening in the Sublimosphere. And I'm here today to take a look at our guy, Eric Wilson. Eric Wilson, bass player of Sublime, as well as the bass player of the spin-off project, whatever you want to call it, Sublime with Rome, posted a comment. It's very interesting. You have to kind of, when we look at this band drama, rolling around in the mud, rubbernecking at other people's drama, you kind of got to try and read the tea leaves, read between the lines, to sort of get a good understanding of what is going on. And this is probably the lowest common denominator of that, really. I mean, it's one thing to read an interview where someone is clearly stating, making a statement, but to sort of piece things together, going from social media post to social media post, I always want to believe that it's beneath me, but here I am with nothing better to do for a live stream. So whatever, let's take a look. This is on Eric's Instagram page. Eric doesn't really put out statements. Eric doesn't really, man, have you ever seen like an interview with Eric? He just seems very, I don't know, man, very, I don't know what the word is. Here's what Eric says. Eric is saying, I no longer play bass. He's very matter of fact with his statement. I no longer play bass in Sublime with Rome. So if you bought tickets to see Sublime with Rome, believing I would be performing with them, I'm sorry. Now you can find me on stage alongside my longtime friend and bandmate, Bud Gaugh, and also Jakob Nowell, as he jumps right in where his dad left off all these years later. We hope to see you at Coachella and beyond. Bring your shades. The future's looking pretty bright. Love, Eric Wilson. Now, what would cause Eric to make a statement like that? Here he is. He's already performed with both Jake and Bud at this point, calling themselves Sublime. Like, is a statement like this really necessary? I guess so. My nearest guess as to why he would just post something like this, especially after Rome has made a statement saying, hey, I'm leaving. And by the way, we already went over this. Go watch that show we did some weeks back, where Rome put out a statement saying, I'm leaving Sublime with Rome, and that there's a new chapter or something like that. And, kind of lacking grace, in my opinion, because again, this guy owes his entire career, no matter what happened in the situation, like he owes his entire career to Bud and Eric, and they have made him a lot of money and a lot of fame, and brought him, given him the ability to eat for the rest of his life while playing music. So I feel like his optics should have been, hey, like, thank you. I'm so grateful. And just, go about, like, take it real humble. He wasn't very humble, I felt, in his post. And now Eric has made the statement. Why would Eric make the statement? I don't know. I have to imagine, Eric plays, Eric is not one. It's not past Eric to play, he plays all sorts of shows, man. He's from playing Coachella to playing in, a small little club with his band. He has a new band called Spray Allen, which is obviously another byproduct of Sublime with Rome. And why do I say that? Perhaps Spray Allen is an earlier symptom of Eric Wilson getting to a place where he feels entirely unsatisfied with the project Sublime with Rome for whatever reason, considering that he's been doing it for 14 years and that only 2 of those years featured Bud Gaugh, where they legitimately were trying to, consider themselves the spinoff of Sublime with the worst title ever, Sublime with Rome. We'll never get over that. And now it's funny. Now Rome is playing as Sublime with Rome without Sublime. We've also covered that. We talked about how Rome was doing shows with Tony from No Doubt and some other guy, calling themselves Sublime with Rome. But now Eric, who's probably, I would imagine, here's what I imagine. This is pure speculation here. I don't know this to be a fact at all. I have to imagine that Eric was probably playing like a Spray Allen show or whatever. He was just like, out doing his thing. And people continuously are coming up to him and saying, hey, are you playing these Sublime with Rome shows? Or, hey, I went to go see Sublime with Rome and you weren't there. Maybe he's reading comments online like that. I don't know. A statement like this is to further draw a line in the sand and go, hey, what you are seeing does not have that I am not with Sublime with Rome. Do not buy these tickets if you think you are going to see me, which is, which I guess is the right thing to do, right? Especially if I'm going to buy a ticket to see Sublime with Rome and I go there and I see Rome with no Sublime, if I see Rome without Eric, I'd be furious. I would be livid. I would be very upset, and I would definitely write about it on the internet. So, at least this is the minimum of what Eric could do. At the same time, I get what it is to have to honor commitments for shows that you booked, so you don't get sued. Sounds like Eric is not really concerned with that, though, despite being a stakeholder in Sublime with Rome. For some reason, Eric seems perfectly comfortable just jumping ship, in that kind of way. You'd imagine, I wonder if Rome, maybe he did, to his credit. I don't want to, sit here and speculate negatively as much as I have, but I want to imagine that Rome had enough integrity to try and either go to his manager or go to the promoters who booked these shows and say, hey, listen, our band is broken up. The band is broken up and we're not Sublime with Rome anymore. Can we relabel? Can we rebill? Can we rebrand these shows as Rome shows? Can we do that? And then maybe the promoters are going, hey, no, we booked you as Sublime with Rome. We signed contracts and we're going to pay you this amount of money and you're going to do what you said you're going to do. Who knows? I don't know. To go out calling yourself as Sublime with Rome without having Eric Wilson is just, it's criminal. It's criminal. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. I mean, to the extent that maybe like, okay, how about this? Let's say that they would be sued. And plus you do have the crew that is relying on the paycheck to go and do these shows, right? There are other mouths to feed. Let's say that you want to honor everything. Hey, we need to honor our obligations, which is also the right thing to do. Even if Sublime with Rome is what Sublime with Rome is, honoring obligations is also a valiant and important sort of thing to do. So let's give Rome the benefit of the doubt and say that he's doing that and that he cannot get out of calling these shows Sublime with Rome. And Eric has decided, hey, I'm not going to play these shows. I don't want to play these shows with you guys. If I was Rome, I would be getting up in front of the stage and I would say, hey, Eric isn't here tonight. We're legally obligated to call this a Sublime with Rome show. It is not. It's just me, Rome. That would be a baller ass ballsy move to make. That would be some last minute integrity in a situation where perhaps there needed to be more integrity in even calling the project Sublime with Rome in the first place. But listen, I know that was not Rome's idea. That wasn't. In fact, that was Eric and Bud's idea. So let's I will say we have to acknowledge that piece of it. But for whatever reasons, for whatever Eric's reasons were, I'm sure he had plenty. Eric is like, I don't want to do this Sublime with Rome thing anymore. And I was just listening to a podcast today where Jakob and Bud, they were talking with Rolling Stone about how they had heard inklings that Eric didn't want to do it anymore with Rome. And that Bud Gaugh was still interested in playing, but only with Eric, Hey, Alberto, how are you? Welcome to tonight's live stream. It's like all these little things were kind of like lining up in the right kind of way. But it is sad to me that, like, for whatever the reason, that to go out and call yourself Sublime with Rome, and I just, there's a setup, and like, man, this is like so crazy. We're gonna actually take a look at it. We'll take a look at it a little bit. It's so crazy to me to think that he could call it Sublime with Rome. I actually kind of want to plug in headphones, but I don't think that's possible to do because I didn't do it. Oh man, was not thinking. We'll take a look at that in a minute. I just think it's crazy that, and you'll notice here too, God, I hate covering stuff like this. It's so stupid. When you look at someone, look who liked the post. It was Jake. Jake said, in the nicest way possible in this podcast interview he did, he's not, he in so many words I thought he was pretty respectful about it, considering saying like, it hurts that people he heard his whole life, people saying, oh yeah, I just saw Sublime. And in his mind, he's saying, no, you didn't. That's not Sublime. Can't call that Sublime. So, and it seems that, I will say this too. I was looking at a lot of these comments. I'm looking over a lot of these comments, and there are a lot of comments here that are super sympathetic towards Rome, which amazes me. It absolutely amazes me. There's a lot. Rome, again, the ultimate gift that Eric and Bud gave to Rome is a fan base that is loyal and unwavering, even when Eric has, changed his tune about Sublime with Rome. It's kind of amazing. We'll take a look at some of these comments too, and we'll look at the video. Before we do, let's talk a little bit about Riot stickers, and we'll get right back at it. How about that? So we will be right back. We've got a new sticker deal at Riot Stickers. That's right, folks. We are starting a brand new promotion here at riotstickers.com, and it is for die cut stickers. What exactly is die cut? What does it mean? It's time for Sticker Science 101. Basically, you got your regular stickers, right? But we introduce a new element with the die cut sticker. Basically, what you do with a computer-guided scalpel. That's right, computer-guided scalpels. Isn't that a great band name, computer-guided scalpel? I love it. You can cut the exact shape of whatever your design is. So whatever you got going on, whatever its borders are, there's no borders, there's no limitations. You take your computer-guided scalpel and you just cut around the edge and you get, voila, a die-cut sticker. So in addition to the UV coating that protects from the sun, in addition to being printed on vinyl, which makes them weatherproof and waterproof, you can now have the exact shape that you want. Well, you always could, but you couldn't for a price like this. For $69, you can get 200 die-cut stickers. There are some people out there who are die-cut fanatics. They need die-cut stickers in their lives. You are not going to find a better deal than this. Now, there's only one place you're going to find this incredible die-cut sticker deal for $69. 200 stickers for $69. And that's if you go to the link down in the description. You go to riotstickers.com/Frumess. That's riotstickers.com/Frumess. What? Sharpie Riot, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? These prices are insane. These prices are Crazy Eddie level prices. If you know Crazy Eddie, then you might be old. You might be older than me. You're probably way older than me. You click on the link, you do the thing, and you get your die cut stickers. Do not hesitate to get this deal, okay? And without further ado, Future Jeff, roll the 60-second Riot sticker commercial. Go, do it.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too. Posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads. We can print on shirts. We can print on hats. We can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality. Quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support. Great customer service and so much more. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
All right, here we are. We're back. We're talking about Eric Wilson's statement. Eric Wilson doesn't make a lot of statements, but when he does, he states them. And he's talking about Sublime with Rome. And yeah, here's what some of the statements. This is Tara Smith, SWR. She seems to be a big Sublime fan, right? A big Sublime with Rome fan, I should say. It's amazing. This it's not semantics. I mean, it's just like that. Again, it always comes back to this. It's the same thing with the Misfits. It's the same thing with TSOL. It always comes back to brand confusion. When you fundamentally change what something is, you need to change what its name is. It's a law of the land, and the universal attraction to that notion is always going to be, hey, it's easier to establish what I'm doing now over this thing. I'm going to associate what I'm doing now over in conjunction with this thing because it's easier, it's less work, and it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, so she says, doesn't sound like a sincere apology to me. It's hurtful to be a fan right now over this whole situation and sad to see it play out. I won't be at Coachella and I don't have the means to get there. So how am I supposed to feel about you not being at Cali Vibes, Red Rocks, and a New Jersey show you agreed to play out this year? And, at the end of the day, if those shows had just been, if they had switched the name to just call it Rome, this would not even be a conversation. Someone else responded, says, I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry this is happening to you personally. I know you've invested a lot of time and money and support. Yeah, it's definitely the fans who are being left in the dust for obvious reasons. But I mean, you're fans of a band called Sublime with Rome that has nothing really to do with Sublime, and other than they contain Sublime members and play Sublime covers. This responder writes, it's almost like a big FU to everyone who's ever kept the love for Sublime's music going all these years too. I'll support Jacob's Castle and Rome separately, but I'm over the Sublime phase. I don't support this at all. It's so bizarre to me. Someone else writes, Eric was literally the only reason left to have the name Sublime at all. Without Bud and Eric, there's no Sublime with anyone. The only person who should be singing lead is Jakob. I appreciate what Rome did, and I truly like the guy, but the band is done. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I can't expect Rome to get sued for not playing shows. And if you have to legally avoid, in order to avoid a lawsuit, if you have to call yourself Sublime with Rome, make a statement. Make a statement and say right off the bat, hey, I'm Rome. Sublime with Rome is no more. We have to call this show a Sublime with Rome show. We'll play you some Sublime songs, but this is a Rome show, really. and just want to put it out there. Eric isn't here. Much love to Eric for all he's done for me, literally given me a career. Thank you, Eric. Literally have my house because of you. Listen, that's not, Rome is talented, but come on. Rome built his entire brand on top of Sublime, which was not his. So Jenny's here. Jenny says, Tara is my girl. Funny you're reading her comment, and I'm here. Hi, Jenny. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with Tara, to be honest with you, but I do, I do understand her frustration. I would be upset if I couldn't I would love to go to Coachella myself, I guess, to see that. Actually, I'd rather go to the No Values tour because that's more my speed, and Iggy Pop and the Misfits, and that would be better. Let's see what else people say. Tara responds, girl, don't at me with that dumb argument. I'm not in the mood. Let's see what else. Let's see what else people are saying. Just read a few more comments. Oh, there's a lot of controversy here. I just don't understand. Here's the thing. I personally just don't understand the defense of Sublime with Rome. I'm not the defense of Rome. Fine. Rome is a musician and a talent is talented, but the defense of Sublime with Rome in light of the fact that Eric and Bud want to go out and play as Sublime with Jakob. How could you be mad about that? How could anybody be mad about that? I don't think I said this before in the first one, but part of the problem with Sublime with Rome and Rome in general is that not understanding that, the very thing that Jakob is saying, hey, I'm a custodian. Even Jakob recognizes himself as the custodian. Rome needs to recognize that he was just a custodian. He did his thing, and it's at some point it was going to end. Josh Klinghoffer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they wanted John Frusciante back. They wanted the classic lineup back. And Josh Klinghoffer, he was a guitarist. He was a protege of Frusciante. So for them to go around and be like, yo, Josh, you're out. And Josh is like, hey, it hurts to be ousted. But at the same time, these guys gave me 10 of the best years of my life. Making money, being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, putting out records, and he's bounced back just fine. Rome's pension is the fact that he can call himself Rome, that he could play Sublime with Rome songs, that he can play Sublime songs if he wants. He can literally do everything he's doing right now just under the name Rome if he wants to, as well as make new music. The real John Murray says, because all Eric wants to do is play old shit while Rome wanted to expand the library. Kind of glad Rome left to do his own thing. Dude is too creative to be stuck in wannabe Sublime. I mean, I do agree that he's creative and that he should be doing his own thing. Yeah. And Eric should be free to just go about doing the Sublime thing, and everybody should that would be it. Let's see what else. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know why I feel like there's shade towards Rome the past couple of months. He stepped in and sung the songs. He didn't step in. Let's clarify. What is the difference between stepping in and being tapped to have this incredible opportunity to front a band? I mean, Rome was a nobody who got literally plucked out of obscurity to jet set around the world on somebody else's music. It's great. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he got to do it. But come on, stepped in is, I don't like, I get caught up with semantics, and that is something that no, he didn't step in. Nobody was begging Rome, hey, Rome, please, we need you. We need you to sing Sublime for 14 years. He did do a service to the music by playing it, but he also did a disservice because, first of all, the moment that Bud left, where is, I guess, if you ask anybody to step down when they're making too much money and having too much of a good time, I don't know. That's hard to walk away from. But it's like the moment that Bud left, they should have stopped calling it Sublime with Rome. They should have called it something else. He was never supposed to be Bradley. He did justice for the music and gave us all a chance. Damn near all never had. I mean, you could have seen Badfish. That's what I did. I would go see Badfish. That being said, everybody just is like, fuck Rome, bring in Jakob. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Interesting. He says, I've worked a couple of Jacob's Castle shows and he sings his father's songs well and struggles a little with the guitar parts. I think Jake is fully aware of his shortcomings. He's talked about it in the podcast, man. He admitted that, he's trying to get down the guitar stuff and that he's good at the rhythm stuff and he's great as the frontman guy. And he also said something else I thought was really valid too. He's like, instead of just being like a carbon cookie cutter thing, like the thing about Sublime, like understanding what the heart of the band was, it was just about being a genuine version of yourself. And that's all Sublime ever did. Everything they did was genuine and from the heart, even if it wasn't perfect, even down to, the way that they would cover songs and they wouldn't even cover them. They were sloppy, sort of like haphazard covers that were so wonderfully beautiful in their own sort of, makeshift kind of way. Like, oh, I don't know the exact lyrics to Johnny Too Bad, so I'm just going to go, walking down the road with the pistol in your hand, just like stuff like that. Why was it not coming to see a loaded? Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Man, I don't know. It's literally Rome without Sublime, basically. But Eric is, but this is the best way to do that, I guess, is to put this statement out. Let's take a look now. Let's look at some of this show. What do you think? What are your feelings? Here's the ultimate litmus test, I think, would be to sort of say, hey, how do I feel when watching this? Does this feel right to me? Like, do I feel okay with this? Or do I not feel okay with this? How do I feel? Let me reshare the stream let me reshare this window to make sure the sound is on. Yeah, sound is on. How do we feel listening to this? All right, I'm gonna try and listen to this at low volume. Hopefully this doesn't mess with the noise cancellation. Let's take a listen. Let's make sure that.
County vibes, how we feeling, Long Beach? Y'all gonna sing along with me on this one, right? It makes me feel right.
I can't hear it.
Joints, time of peace, doing time of war. I smoke 2 joints, but I smoke 2 joints, and then I smoke 2 more. Their minds are not the same, and to conquer was their goal. Started out his great empire, and he started his own kind. When he died, a confused man killed himself with his own body. Let's go!
Look at this. All right, look at this. This is crazy. All right, now we think we found a groove here. Look at this. This is bizarre. This is bizarre. Here is this band calling themselves Sublime with Rome. Okay, there's not a single member of Sublime involved at all. There's not one. Bud Gaugh is not there. Eric Wilson is not there, and Brad can't be there. Okay. And instead, Rome has this guy playing, or has this bass player guy. It's not even Tony from Who is this guy? Listen, I have nothing against the bass player guy. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know who he is, but it's just like it's like he plucked a it's like he plucked a hobo off the fucking hey, you know how to play bass? Hands him a bass, is like, okay. Rob Serrano says it was a contract to play 40 ounce to Freedom in full. That's just such a fucking cop out, man. That's just such a fucking cop out to me. You're gonna play 40 ounce to Freedom in full. They're not even playing Sublime with Rome songs. They're playing Sublime songs. I mean, maybe it's Eric. Maybe it's just a giant fuck you from Eric. Eric is just like, fuck you. And this is the way I'm gonna bounce when you have to do this, and then you'll embarrass yourself.
See y'all in the motherfucking mosh pit. Let's go, y'all.
I mean, Rome can't feel good about this. Even Rome has to not feel good about this. I just can't imagine. Let's give Rome a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Is he stuck in like the worst situation ever? Maybe. I love seeing this guy that's not Eric. Dude, if I went to this show to see Eric Wilson playing fucking bass and he wasn't there, Eric Wilson's one of the greatest, most underrated punk rock bassists of all fucking time. If I didn't see, like, to watch Eric play bass is just incredible because he's so like stoic. He's like a stoic, like stone statue standing still. Whoa, a stoic stone statue standing still. Say that 5 times fast. And yet he plays every note so flawlessly. And then to just like see this guy here, I'd be like, well, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like from anybody ever watch Tim and Eric? And there's the guy's like, I'm Tom Cruise's, you know, he's Tom Cruise's. This is Eric Wilson's. Wait, so if this is 40 ounce to Freedom in full, you're telling me that they played, oh my God. All right, Don't Push a song that is so authentically like Bradley, like, you know, something that just came from, you know, the genuine whatever it is that Brad was doing as Sublime. And here's this guy, hey, Sublime, playing in a band called Sublime with Rome. Could you fucking imagine? Listen to this. You know, I will say this, like look, they have Bob Marley up on the screen. This is so, I don't know, man. This is cringe. You know, I will say this though, like replacement bass player guy seems like he's having such a fucking fun time. Because for him, look at him, he's playing this giant friggin' stage. You know, I don't know what kind of shows Rome is going to book after Sublime with Rome. Will he be able to book places like this? This might be it for Rome. Rome might be relegated to playing clubs. You know, he might be kind of jaded. He's been doing this for 14 years now. But this guy, who knows? He's like playing bass, having the fucking time of his life playing Sublime songs. He's the winner. He's actually, it's funny. Eric Wilson's replacement is the winner here. Look at this drummer. My God. I just can't fuck. Like, how do you get to this point? And you know what else? I'll tell you this too. Like, it really says something about hanging it up at the right time, right? Imagine if they had hung it up just a little bit earlier, you know? Imagine if Rome had the wherewithal. Maybe he did. Maybe he wanted to. That's not what I understand, actually. What I understand is that he was happy to keep going as Sublime with Rome for a very long time if it was not for Eric Wilson. I don't know. But just the idea of like, when they started, it was like a legitimate novelty with a weird name, but it's like, hey, here's this dude playing with the guys from Sublime, and they're putting out music that sounds like something that Sublime probably would have released in like 2008, Sublime on their like 7th or 8th record. You know what I mean? Like, assuming that Brad didn't go solo, because you would imagine that. I feel like Brad would have done the Gwen Stefani thing eventually at some point. He probably would have just done a Gwen. He just would have gone out as Bradley Nowell, in some way. Maybe he would have released a solo record, like wanting to separate himself from Sublime. I don't know. But man, just like to go from, hey, I'm doing this thing with the surviving members of Sublime to having like like there are some people that will go to this show and say, hey, I went to the Sublime show last night, and when they say what did the band look like, they'll point to a picture of these 3 guys, man. It's just so crazy to me. That's bizarre. All right, we're not gonna look. Okay, so it's a bunch of guys covering 5446, which in turn is a cover by Toots and the Maytals, which is a great song. Bad Fish. All right, let's hear a little Bad Fish. Like, I have to say, if I just heard that, if that was just Rome playing that and it was at some festival and I happened to catch it, I'd be like, okay, cool. Sounds good to me. But it's like, but you know what I mean? Like the fact that this is like, hey, this is Sublime or Sublime with Rome, like that. Well, come on. Lord knows I'll be I'll tell you this. They have a Jumbotron back here that's playing like visuals, right? There's a Jumbotron here playing visuals, and it's just kind of like you're going to go out and call yourself, look, you got Bad, you see the fish on the screen, you're going to call yourself Sublime with Rome. Why not have just tons of pictures of Brad? This was Bradley Nowell's like thing. Like why not like put Brad and the band at the forefront? Hey, we're just playing the music for you to enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this is so utterly disingenuous to me. That's what it is. Bottom line. Rob says, I don't think the argument or the drama is over talent. It's the conflicting statements about Sublime doing limited shows per Bud and finishing the Sublime with Rome tour. Sure. I mean, that's definitely part of the controversy. Absolutely. And listen, I don't think it was Eric. As I said, I don't think it was right of Eric to duck out on commitments like this. Maybe he should have just stayed the course and played the shows, or broken the contracts and just taken the lawsuits on the chin and call it a day. But who wants to do that? Who wants to take lawsuits on the chin? Nobody's interested. Let's hear some Go Get Stoned. I was late, I lean upon the wall. Tell me, baby, would it make no difference at all? I will never get tired of seeing this long-bearded fucking dude playing bass. Like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, you could be outraged that like there's no Eric Wilson. Like I said, if I paid money to see the show and there was no Eric Wilson, I'd be outraged. But watching it on YouTube and just seeing this rando dude here, just like, hey, I'm playing bass, like, that's awesome. I can't be mad at that. It's too ridiculous not to be mad at it, I think it's also kind of this drummer guy is kind of funny too, man. Live at ease. E standing for Eric. What are they going to do for the part where he says, let's see. Let's hear this. This will be interesting.
Yo, big shout out to Cali guys for putting on such a motherfucking party every goddamn year. Hit it. Come on. Yesterday I saw her looking out for more. She makes my body ache, and you know I can't complain.
Wait a minute. Who's doing that's the Miguel part? Who's doing the Miguel part?
Oh, she makes my body ache, and you know I live for more. I won't fake or perpetrate. I won't front no funky hoe.
I think that's a pre-recorded thing. It's so bizarre.
It's like you all I took on my face all night long. I don't let you wide wrong. My clothes look so nice and on the mic. DJ want my mic.
Up in the DJ, room for me. Rocking about the rock and roll hits. So sweet and so nice. They call me tonight. Go, 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 go. How we feeling out there, folks? I love the DJ show.
Oh, they cut it short. They don't even do the part with Eric. They don't even do it. Say something. Say, my name is Eric. I got nothing to say because I'm not a fucking DJ. But if you want to come talk to me, you got to talk to my friend Bradley. Ho, now I'm going to see Ross. Rob said, wait, did you see Biden eating ice cream yesterday? I don't know what that has to do with anything. Also, during the course of this show, he says he wishes Eric a speedy recovery and to get healthy. And in the end, he says, it's all yours, Jakey. Okay, well, I don't know how I feel about that, but what does he mean, wishes Eric a speedy recovery? Does that have to do with the fact that Eric didn't play those shows, so, quote unquote, because he was having surgery on his shoulder, quote unquote, and they had to get Tony from No Doubt in there? I wonder if that really happened. That's so bizarre. Do you know, hey Rob, do you know when he says that? When does he say that about the speedy recovery? I would very much like to find that spot in this. So now they're doing let's hear him do Chico Mi Tipo. That'll be curious to hear. I mean, I guess I think Rome speaks Spanish. Of course he speaks Spanish. Let's hear it.
Come on. No me propongo predicar. No puedo, amigo, es un condón en el bolsillo. No soy médico, no soy chabucero. Solamente.
Right back.
Make you feel alone.
I mean, I fluctuate from one moment being like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess. Oh, Rob says he was there in person. He doesn't know the timestamp, but that's interesting. That's interesting that he hands it off.
I got me a baby doll girlfriend. She's a little hoe. That don't mean I got the right.
I mean, alternatively, what you would do is there's another world where you don't have they have Trey from Falling Idols sitting in with them. But, for me, what I've wanted, what I've been saying and advocating for on here this whole time is have Miguel join in on second guitar and, Jake fronting. How about instead, another iteration is where this would never happen. Rome plays lead guitar, Bud comes back, and Jake steps in as the front man. And then that band is a 4-piece. Would probably work out just fine, but too much bad blood, or strained blood or awkward blood, between Rome and Jake, I suppose. This guy, here's a guy who's actively being compared to his late father. That's weird. That
Oh, I'd like to keep my high ground. Times I parade, and I'm waiting for some bright holiday, and I find myself let go.
It's just so funny too, because he's literally playing 40 ounce to freedom. It's not like they're doing Sublime with Rome songs. You know what I mean? Like that would sort of change it a little bit. It's the fact that like he's playing songs that are he's covering songs that are not his.
And I right back where I'm from.
I want to hear.
Way back to motherfucker, but I won't stress my phone. And I will not take my life. Gonna be my God. Points are on my mind. Take up all of my time.
So, Rob, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, question. So did Rome acknowledge that who the bass player guy is, the bearded bass player dude? That's interesting. I got to tell you too, like the thing about Rome, like he, like proficiency wise, like he sings and plays the guitar just fine, but he doesn't have like that. He doesn't have that magnetic state frontman swagger that Brad had and that Jake actually embodies, I think, as well. Jake needs to grow into that more, but he's definitely got it. He's got his the apple did not fall far from the tree in that regard. But Rome, I don't know, man. He just kind of like stands there, doing the shuffle, glued to the microphone. There's no swagger. It's not the same, at least. It's a far cry. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not great. They're covering Hope. Covers of covers of covers.
Oh, you change. Oh, how you change. I gave you a hard time. You didn't want to stay. You got out of jail. So very good. Oh, it's plain to see. My pregnant is a Nazi.
I love seeing bass player guy just having the time of his life up there. That legitimately, I was not expecting that. That legitimately makes me happy. Like, I'm not mad that dude is up there. I'm like happy that he's having the time of his life playing on that big stage. Good for you, guy. Good for you. Wherever I don't know where he was before that. Maybe he's a session player, maybe he's whatever. But right in that moment, he seemed to be really, really happy doing what he's doing. Good for you. Good for you, guy. Rob says, not at all. It was never a competition. Jake said that he has been touring and getting ghosted by promoters, and all this is an opportunity to get his music out there. And yeah, I listened to that Rolling Stone interview today. The podcast thing. Yeah, he talked about that. He did. And, he talked also about his home life and, it's a lot. It seems like it was a lot rougher. So, his comments, I understand his comments significantly more about the Nepo, not wanting to be called like a Nepo baby or like the nepotism thing. I still 100% stand by my comment, though, that while he most certainly had to earn his bones and is earning his bones and earned what he earned, that place that he has, he 100% had a foot. He had a foot in the door that above what other people have doing what they're doing. Like that remains. That obviously remains. Your father was Bradley Nowell, like hands down. It's got to it counts a lot. It's got to count for something. It's a lot more than nothing. But yeah, it's from all things considered, he spent 10 years grinding it out for sure and earned his bones, as he should, as it has made him exceedingly humble, especially when compared to, say, I don't know, Rome here. Imagine covering the Descendants because a guy who you never met, who died when you were like 8 years old, used to love covering the song, and now you're obligated contractually to play it because it was on his album. And so it's like Hope is a cover of a cover of a cover in a weird way. It's just so bizarre to me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this is, listen, at the end of the day, the person most responsible for what is occurring right now, or what just occurred on that stage, is friggin' Eric Wilson, man. Eric Wilson issued a statement, but he's really issuing a statement sort of against himself, because he allowed this to continue for as long as it did. And the reason why it's stopping is because he's allowing it to stop. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't freaking know. But yeah, that's all I got. What do you think? What are your thoughts out there? Thank you for joining me tonight. Peace, hair grease. We'll see you next time. There'll probably be more developments. We'll see what comes. We'll see what comes up the pike. We'll see you next time. Bye.